Thanks for joining me from the inside of the all-new 2025 Chevy Equinox. This is the Activ trim, and you can see from this interior that it looks nothing like the previous generation. The outside doesn't either. So we're going to take a look at all of that, and I'll show you what is special about this Activ trim. As I mentioned, the outside of this is completely different than the previous generation. Gone are the soft lines that made it kind of, wishy-washy, if you want to say that. Now you've got this nice rugged look, following in the footsteps of the new redesigned Traverse. This actually looks like a small miniature Traverse. I think they did a great job with this. This is your Activ trim. It's the most off-road ready trim. You can see how it's got a lot of black plastic cladding around here to really protect you when you're off-road. Easy to replace if it gets damaged, not so much getting into the metal body panels. You come around to the front here, and the Activ has a complete separate fascia, grille, lower valance. Everything is different about the Activ trim. So you get a blacked out grille. This is a black or a smoked chrome across there. The other models get it painted there. You get the black bow tie badge right there, and you get all of this gloss black and black trim around everything. As we come around to the side here, you see that you get these gray and machine-faced 17-inch wheels along with all-terrain tires. They are General Grabber AT tires, which makes it really good for off-roading, but they are a little noisy on the road. You've also got the Equinox badging in black. You've got all of this black trim around everything. You get the roof rails on this one also. And you come around to the back and you've got the black Activ, the black badge, and the black Equinox all-wheel drive. So as much of this stuff that has changed on the outside, and you saw a little bit of the interior from the intro, and you saw how different it looked. One thing didn't change about this Equinox, and that's the powertrain. Why? I don't know, but let's take a look at it. You still get the 1.5 liter turbo inline 4-cylinder Evotex engine, putting out 175 horsepower and 203 pound-feet of torque. I don't know why they didn't do something to this engine, because it really does need a testosterone injection. Now, paired to that engine, you also get standard front wheel drive. That front wheel drive will be tied to a CVT transmission. This one here is the all-wheel drive version, so it gets an 8-speed automatic transmission. Now, you get a 0 to 60 in about 8.7 seconds. Like I said, needs a little bit of testosterone in this thing. The Activ does get off-road tuned suspension, and you can tow up to 1,500 pounds. Now, your fuel economy is going to come in at 26 in the city, 29 on the highway, for an average of 26 miles per gallon. And I would have expected a better fuel efficiency coming out of this thing with as low a power as it's producing. All right, let's go take a look at the cargo space in here. Again, here is the back. It looks really nice. I do like the taillight design on the sides here. And I like that they have the roof spoiler coming back. It would have been nice if they would have given enough room to put, the wiper up underneath here, but you do have your camera and your window cleaner back there. So let's take a look here now at our cargo space. You get a power lift gate on this one. Here you're looking at 29.8 cubic feet of space. Not a lot, but it's okay. It will work for most families. There's not a lot of extras in here. You can get a cargo cover for back here. Let's see if there's any extra space underneath. You do have some space underneath here. You can take this whole shelf out and you can use that extra space there. Anything else down below? And we do have a spare tire, so good job, Chevy. I know a lot of people are complaining about not having spare tires. Glad they put one in here. All right, let's go ahead and drop this second row down. Should be able to just push a handle there and push it down. Same thing over here, handle, push. And now you have 63.5 cubic feet of space. Looks like a average sized person could probably sleep back here if needed, but it looks like you have plenty of room to move whatever you would need to load into the back of here. If you enjoy watching and learning about new vehicles, go ahead and hit the subscribe button because I put up new content every week. All right, let's take a look at the inside. Before we do that, though, I wanted to tell you what the color on this is, and this is Reef Blue Metallic. It looks really nice. I really do like the color, especially with the black trim and everything. It looks really good with the contrast, but it says it's metallic. I can't see any metallic in it. Even when the sun was out bright, I still couldn't see much metallic in it, but they say it's got metallic in it. I'm guessing that it probably does. But let's take a look at the interior in here. This is maple sugar interior. And it really does look nice. I really do like the color combinations they used in here. So we come over here to the door panel and you can see this just kind of light brown color in here mixed with the black, and you've got a little bit of piano black right here. That's fine. That's not going to really cause any problems as it would as if it was like a whole panel or something like that. All of this is hard plastic right up here, and you got hard plastic here. So a lot of hard plastic in here, which I think they probably could have went a little more upscale and put some soft in a few areas. Now you do have memory seating on here. You also have all of your window and mirror controls right there. You've got a release for your hatch. Over here, you have powered seats with lumbar, and this is a sueded microfiber. So this is really nice up here. Feels just like what suede would feel like. Down here, you've got this all perforated through here. These seats in the front are heated. They come standard heated on the active trim, but you can option for ventilated seats, which then also gives you heated seats in the rear, and that's what this one has. So you've got heated and ventilated seats here in the front of this one. I do love the turbine vents. These are my favorite vents. They're my wife's favorite vents. It just makes it look sporty and awesome in here. So let's get in and take a little bit closer look at all of this because this screen setup is pretty awesome. We need to dig into that. All right, you guys will have to tell me down in the comments how you feel about the interior of this. This orange piping on the seats, I think looks really good. It goes real well with this light brown, and I just think they look great. And they're pretty comfortable. They're really cushiony down in here. They're really soft. Makes you feel really good. These are really squishy and soft on the side bolsters. I feel that they will be plenty comfortable for you on long trips. I like the way that the door looks just over here. It just looks premium without actually using premium materials, because as we talked about, we've got a lot of plastic on that door. And coming across here, you've got this same material here. I don't even know what to call it. It feels weird. Feels weird. It is textured, but it looks good. I like the look of it. It's strange. I just like the look at it. And I like this piece running across here, and you can see there's like some hexagonal imagery inside of this going across here. Now this up here is soft here, and this is all soft here. So I don't know why this would be soft up here, but hard over here. That doesn't make any sense to me. I think that they should have went hard plastic here and soft on the doors where your arms are going to be sitting. But Let's talk about these new screens. So you get an 11-inch screen here in front of you for the driver's display. Now you can see that there is a lot of glare on this. I'm not seeing glare so much from my point of view, but you are picking it up a lot in the camera. It is bright, it works really well, it's easy to flip through different ways that you want to look at things. So you can bring up your navigation here and have just a speedometer off to the side. Here is another look. So you've got an RPM gauge and your speedometer off to the side with your driver assistance in the middle. And then here is a pretty much like a column screen. And then we can go back to the main screen here that has all your fuel economy and everything on this side. You have your two-wheel drive button right here, which if you want to switch to all-wheel drive, you slide right over here and you have the all-wheel drive button. You click that on and it will put it right into all-wheel drive, just like that. But you'll get your best gas mileage with it in two-wheel drive. Let's pull back and look at this steering wheel, because there's a little bit of a controversy with this right now, and that is this stock right here, because that is your gear shifter. Now a lot of cars are doing this now, and it's not hard to get used to, but a lot of owners that are used to the standard center console shifter might have a little bit of a problem adjusting to this. But we come back and you have all your driver assistance features on this side, and you have your heated steering wheel button right here, and then you've got all your voice recognition. This button here is what controls your driver's display, and this is your menu options there. All right, let's go over to this screen here. Now, this one here is rated as an 11.3-inch screen, so a little bit bigger than the driver's display. It looks a lot bigger than the driver's display, but you can see the outline is actually just right here, so it's really not much bigger. Now, there are a few things with this. This is the Google built-in system. So you have Google Assistant, you've got the Play Store that you can add things, you've got Alexa on here, and you've got Google Maps right there, which is awesome. Now they've added in Waze, Spotify, Audible, Tidal, whatever that is. You got My Chevrolet up here in the corner also. You have a controls button. That is going to bring up your quick buttons, but this is your dome light. This is your power window lock. You got your camera up here, so we can flip that camera on, and you can flip through different modes. So you got directly in front of you, you've got directly behind you. You can do the cameras on your mirrors. So that's looking down at the front. This is looking down towards the back. And then you have either side, front view, rear view. So that is all of those. You can go back out of that. And then here are where you turn your fog lights on. And then you press this button, and this is where your headlights are at. Now, you're going to set them on auto, and it's just going to stay on auto all the time. So that is not a big deal. So I wouldn't be too worried about not having the switch, over there somewhere. I think that'll be just fine, really. And then you got your auto high beams that will just stay on all the time. But I notice you do have to turn your fog lights on every single time that you want to get in here if you want your fog lights on. Go back out. Go over, you got Amazon Music on here, and right here we can go into settings, you can go into vehicle, and then you can make any type of adjustments that you would like to there. And then the last button is you go to vehicle status. This is going to bring up all of your tire pressures, your brake wear. So you hit your tire, it's going to tell you your tire pressure. Go back out, you hit this one, that's your brake pad life. Look at that, 95%. It's going to tell you everything that you need to know about those features. There's your tires and brakes. You can also see it this direction. Your fluid and your filters, your engine, your voltage, your coolant temperature, and then you go into your trip. Here's your trip 1, trip 2. You click on that and you can reset those. And then you go back out, you can go to fuel economy. You can remove it from your driver's display. You can change the distance on how it calculates things every 25 miles, every 50 miles, or every 450 miles. And then you can also have a best scores, which apparently somehow somebody got 38 miles per gallon out of this. I've been averaging around 25 to 26. Right now it's down to 19 because we've done a lot of idling today and yesterday for videos. But yeah, that's it for your display. I really do like it. My phone is too far away to be connected right now, so my Android Auto is not up, but it does have wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, just in case you were wondering or you were worried about that. You can still connect those wirelessly and use whatever features that you need to use on your phone. All your climate controls are down below. As I mentioned, you do have heated and ventilated seats here in the front. And I like the dials that have the temperature on the side. It's nothing that has to pop up in the screen up here. Everything is done just right here. Easy, quick buttons and for what you need to use. You're down a little bit farther and you've got a USB-C and a USB-A down here. And then you just have a little tray, which is pretty nice. And before I move back to this area back here, I want you to look underneath here. We've got a storage area down underneath here to hide whatever you would like to hide down there. All right, and we come back up and you do have a wireless phone charger right here. It sits in here sideways, but if you're not charging your phone, it's really nice because this is enough room for two cell phones, so you can just prop them up, one here and one here side by side, and they're just in a good, easy spot for you to reach and get to. Here you do have your mode button. Let's check out the modes. We have normal, off-road, and snow and ice. All right, we're coming back and we do have two cup holders right here, and these are pretty tight. So this has these little rubber things in here that kind of flex. It's hard to kind of see, but that really holds your bottles in there very tight. But I also think that they are a little on the small side. It'd be nice if they had one size bigger than the other. You do have a little tray right here you can store stuff in. And then we get back to this armrest right here. And like I said, this material that they've used in here, this kind of textured material is really nice. Actually feels really good. And you pop that open. You do have a pocket down here. It is about, to the bottom, it is about mid-forearm depth. I do have a few things in here. You got a little tray for coins or whatever. You can take that out so you can actually see it's pretty deep. Now, I like that. That works out really well. This does have the panoramic roof, or actually panoramic moonroof. And another thing, sunglass holder. Way to go, Chevy. Love the sunglass holders. All right, so that's all the features up front. Well, I'm gonna go hop in the back and see how much space there is back there. I'm 6 foot tall. It looks like there's a decent amount of room back there, but let's go try it out. See how far this door opens. That is a decent amount of room. You shouldn't have problem getting kids in and out of here, car seats, but it does look like there's plenty of room in here. Let's get in. Driver's seat is in my driving position, and I have about probably 3 to 4 inches. That looks really, really good right there above my head. I still have about 2 inches above my head. Plenty of room back here. All right, let's take a look at what the back here has to offer for your passengers. Okay, you see the same materials in the back here that were in the front. So you've got this nice material, and this is soft material. So this is all soft right through here, but you got hard plastic here and the rest, which is okay in the back. It's just not okay in the front is how I feel about it. You see the color combinations back here. This still looks really nice. This maple sugar interior, I really am enjoying it. All right, let's get in. And first thing we see down here is we've got 2 vents right here, and you have the heated seats back here because that was an option that actually gave you ventilated seats in the front also. You do have mat pockets here in the back of both seats. Coming across here, I don't see like any rear sunshades or anything like that. Now they do have a powered sunshade for the panoramic moonroof. Oh, we do have a center armrest here with 2 cup holders. That looks really good. That will work just fine. All right, that's it for the back, but I know what you guys are really wanting to know is how much does this cost? Well, it's a pretty good price, so let's go run the numbers. Pricing for this all new redesigned Equinox is going to start off with the LT, and that is going to run you $31,995, which sounds like a really good price. But it gets even better than that. This Activ and the RS both start at $36,395. And this one in front of you, as tested with the options and the destination fee, comes in at $39,915. So that is under $40,000 for a brand new redesigned Equinox. All right, we don't have anybody following us. Let's get a 0 to 60 in this thing real quick to start everything off. And I don't have a sport mode in here, so we're just in normal mode. Ready? 1, 2, 3, some brake torque. Let's go. Come on. There's 60 finally. Well, it almost felt like the turbo kind of like faded out at one point. Like we almost like stopped gaining speed for a second before it picked it up again. I don't know what happened there. This is not very quick. We know that. We're over 8 seconds, 0 to 60, and only 175 horsepower. So I don't understand why they didn't at least give a little bump up. You're going to redesign the outside. You're going to redesign the inside. You're going to make this thing a lot more appealing to people, but then you don't do anything to kind of help out the engine. I mean, if you're not going to give it better gas mileage, then give it more power. Or if you're not going to give it more power, find a way to give us some more gas mileage. That way you can kind of give a reason of why you didn't upgrade the engine or you didn't upgrade the miles per gallon. One of the two, but don't just leave it the same as what you had before. So you give it a sportier design on the outside, more rugged design. You think it's going to be able to do more stuff and be more powerful and be more rugged and off-roady and all of that stuff, and then you get the same engine you had before. So that is something I think that they really need to look at. Hopefully maybe next year or the year after that, maybe they'll think about doing something to kind of give you a little bit more out of this vehicle. But other than that, the vehicle is great. I love the design on the inside. I think they did a great job with this. It's really appealing, and I have felt really comfortable in here. I felt like I was driving something that was a little bit more luxurious than what the previous model was. Even though there are some hard plastics in odd areas where they tried to save a little bit of money on this. The ride quality is good. I think the cushioning from the suspension works really well. You don't feel any real harsh hits that you run across. But this is the Activ trim, and its suspension is tuned for the off-road. So it does allow for a little bit more travel in the suspension, which does give you a little bit more of a bouncy feel whenever you hit bigger bumps or dips in the road. You kind of feel like you bounce just a little bit before it settles in. And I know that that is for the off-road suspension, so that you can do some crawling over some small rocks and stuff like that, and you have a little more flex in there. So if you aren't somebody who likes kind of a bouncy feel to it, then I would go ahead and get the RS version, because then you're going to get all these similar amenities in here and have a little bit tighter suspension that you might be a little more comfortable with. Price comparison is pretty much the same with the Activ and the RS. They're right there by each other. They start out at the same price and end pretty close to each other depending on your options that you add. I like the steering wheel, feels good. It's a nice fat steering wheel. I like that. The shifting stock doesn't bother me because I've been in vehicles that have this and I'm used to having that. But if you are not used to that, it is going to take you a little bit to get used to. The other thing I don't like is the headlights. It's one of those things where you're used to having headlight buttons on the side here or on your stock on the steering wheel, and they're up here. Now, most of the time you're going to turn them on and you're going to leave them on, and you're just not going to worry about it because it's going to auto turn on and off. It's going to auto bright and dim. The only problem is that the fog light button, when you turn the fog lights on, you have to turn them on every single time you want to turn the fog lights on, and you shouldn't have to do that. If you turn the fog light button on, when the headlights come on, then the fog lights come on with it, and then when the headlights shut off, the fog lights go off also. I don't understand why you have to turn that on every single time. That they need to change. Other vehicles, you turn them on and the fog lights just come on whenever the headlights come on, and it's just really simple. There is a little bit of lean side to side, so you do get a little bit of rocking, and that is probably going along with the active trim level suspension, so it is a little looser. So I'd have to get in and drive another Equinox, either the RS or the LT base model, and see if it does the same thing. See if it still has kind of that rocking motion to it. But everything else is great. I think they did a great job with the design on the exterior of this, and I think they did a great job with the design on the interiors. If you enjoyed this review, give me a thumbs up, and then click one of the videos that's on the screen. One I put up there that I think you're going to enjoy. The other one YouTube thinks is perfect for you to watch next. So you click on one of those videos and then have a blessed day.